Yes, it is. It is ho hum to hallelujah. 8 steps to manifest what you really, really want. What is up, spiritual hooligans? It's Wednesday night, and we are on number four of our classes here of the 8 steps. I just want you to know, Kristen and I we are so thrilled. We're just thrilled to be in the class with you, to be honest with you. The stuff that is manifesting is bonkers. Your messages about what you're manifesting. So the stuff we're manifesting, bonkers. The messages that we're getting, incredible. Well done, everybody. Super, super exciting. Let's just jump straight in. I got too much to talk about to BS with you today. I want to just start with this idea. Doubt. Doubt is what does the most damage. And so there's a process that you go through. I call it the rapid enlightenment process that gets the doubt to go away so it doesn't chew up your mental real estate. You don't want it running in the background. You don't want that like, rah, 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 rah. It actually messes up your manifesting. So use the rapid enlightenment process to get the mind to go quiet so that you can allow your deepest desires to become clear. Now, manifesting your deepest desires, it's natural. It's like a totally normal thing, and it's happening all the time. The problem is that you might not be completely honest with yourself about what your deepest desires are. And the reason is that we get afraid that it'll disrupt the status quo. It'll disrupt our life. A client recently proposed a question to himself, and I have stolen this question and I've been using it over and over and over every single week for myself this year. And I'd love for you to write the question down. Will you write down, where am I taking a bigger risk by not taking the risk? Where am I taking a bigger risk by not taking the risk? Let me pin my video so that if anybody else's stuff comes in, it doesn't steal the video away. So I'm going to pin that. Shaboomba. I'm pinned. Okay. And then let's move this over here so that it gets out of my way. There we go. Oh, wow. This is really not working the way that I want. Give me a moment, everybody. All of a sudden, I didn't do the pinning process. But now you are pinned. Kristen, if you can find our non-muters, that would be awesome. So where am I taking a bigger risk? By not taking a risk. There was a really cool graduation speech that was delivered by the actor Jim Carrey. I like Jim Carrey. Kristen. All right, there we go. Recording is in progress. I like Jim Carrey. Kristen doesn't really like Jim Carrey that much, but here's what he said. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. And he continues to say, I learned from many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you do want and doing what you love. Now, in his speech, he talked about how his father wouldn't allow him to take the risk to tap into his potential to be a great comedian. And so he went the safe and practical path. And Jim Carrey ended up failing anyway after becoming an accountant. So where is it a bigger risk not taking the risk? Here's a quote from one of my favorite books. If you haven't read it before, it's super awesome. It's called U Squared. It's Y-O-U and then the number 2. U Squared. And it kind of helped me really dial in this idea that, you know what, I can leave my father's empire. I can hand him back the keys to the castle and I can forge my own path. I used to read this is just a little segment of the quote, but I used to read it over and over and over to inspire myself. He says in the quote, and this is from the U Squared book, years ago, you accepted false conclusions as correct. Began to live your life as if those warped ideas about your potential were true. And ceased the bold experiment in living that brought you so many breakthrough behaviors as a child. Well, now it's time to find that faith that you had in yourself before. And that's what we're doing together. That's what this is all about. It's like getting you to find that faith that you had in yourself before. So I just want to like retune in my perspective on manifesting. The most life-changing intentions are really the ones that you can't even fathom how they would come true. And when you set those intentions, the ones where you're like this, I don't even know how I would do that. When you set those intentions, that's when your life begins to accelerate. That's when you begin to feel alive. The energy starts flowing into your experience. Kristen pulls this shit with me all the time, and I love it. Kristen has a risk tolerance that is amazing. She will, like, for example, she proposed, what if we made the same amount of money coaching, but you only coach 6 days a week? I was like, you're absolutely bonkers, lady. I don't even know how to do that. Like, that makes no sense to me.
That would be a month, darling. 6
What did
days a month. You
what did I
said a
say?
week. A week.
Oh, I think I might have been singing the Beatles song, 8 days a week, 6 days a month. See, she has to be there to make sure that I get their language right. So 6 days a month. And so over the last couple years, we've been trying to figure it out. Like, we didn't know how, but it's those kinds of intentions that get the energy flowing. So if you think of it, it can happen, but it's probably not going to happen exactly the way that you thought. And it probably will take longer than you want. And that doesn't make you a loser or bad or a failure, any of those things. If you think about it, the outcome is really not the point. The actual point is the experience that you're having in life, experiencing life in a particular way. And I will tell you that the moment that you're aligned with your intention, the experience that you thought the intention was going to bring you by coming true happens before it comes true. You start experiencing it now. Write this down. To be aligned with it. To be aligned with it means to be a person who already has it. To be aligned with it means to be a person who already has it. Like, not in the physical sense, but the thing you got to just always keep in mind, you're a spiritual person. So you're actually much more tuned into the experience of the deal. So it's really about figuring out, well, what's important about this goal? It's like what we talked about in the very first session. What's important about this? And it ultimately comes down to an experience that you want to have. Now, if you're already being it, there's no need to manifest it. That's the wacky part of this process. That when you detach from it, your peace goes up exponentially. But the thing that you want rushes into your life. So I just want you to think about all the things that you've wanted, that once you got it, you're like, it's no longer that big of a deal. And that's really what it is. It's like, once you got it, it's no longer a big deal. So, achieving, attaining, accomplishing, those are not, that's not the prize. The prize is the energy, the experience, the desire, the pull, the magnetism. The desire transforms. The desire gets you into action. The desire gives you the juice, the energy, the enthusiasm that makes life so delicious. I love when Kristen gets into her desire mode. She starts to dance and wiggle and like jump around the house and hoot and holler and whatnot. And because it's like the desire is coming through and she's just allowing it to flow. The desire. So what do you do? You set big, juicy, exciting intentions. And then you watch your life transform before your eyes. Big dreams. Big dreams. Like, will they come true? Maybe. I don't know. Some will. Some won't. In fact, probably most won't. But that's okay. Because the game here is that you become. So some of your dreams will come true and some of your dreams won't come true. And it's not because you don't have the power to manifest. You absolutely are the manifestation manifesting, but you're only one part of the equation. And you got to remember that not every seed grows into a tree. So some of your intentions don't manifest because, like, as soon as you get excited about them and you start to go for it and you discover what the how-to is, then all of a sudden you change your mind. I remember I was on this journey back in my 20s. I wanted to have a Calvin Klein model body. And I used to call it a CKMB. I'm going to have a CKMB. I was super excited about it. And I was exploring, trying to figure out, like, how did I get to that spot? Then I actually met a Calvin Klein model named Bob Hoff. And when Bob told me what it took to have a Calvin Klein model body, I instantaneously knew I did not want a Calvin Klein model body anymore, because the damage it would do to my brain power to sculpt the body in that way was too much. Like, as I engaged it, I actually diminished my ability to think. And I was like, I'd rather think than have a Calvin Klein model body. So on one side, your goals don't come true because, like, you get close and you realize, not what I thought it was going to be. And on the other side, it's just like the conditions of the world change, or the conditions in your life are not quite right. And the key is, yet, like, if you were still curious and you were still interested, then you could just enjoy the journey and make it happen. So step one, set your intention. We've been doing that a lot. Step two, keep doing what you're doing and give the gift. Step three, remember what I said to Thatch, the ancient Vietnamese proverb? Don't get stuck in the how-to. You don't know how. But today we're going to talk about step 4. Will you write this down for me, please? Tell everyone what you are manifesting. Tell everyone what you are manifesting. So you want to declare it. You want to claim it. You want to speak it. This is so important. And it took me a long time to really, really get this. You know how people say your net worth is in your network? Well, that could not be more true. You are a part of a network. You are one node on a network. Write down, all opportunities are in the people you meet and in your life. All opportunities are in the people you meet and are in your life. If no one knows what you're up to, then no one can help you. So you got to put your intention out into the network and let it, like, do its thing. Let the network, like, start to work to your advantage. When you speak it, you clarify it. So as you speak it to people, you get feedback on it, and then their feedback helps you to get clearer and clearer. It's this process by which you're saying what you want. You don't know how to get it. So you're like, this is what I'm trying to create right now. And here's what I'm thinking about. And then people are like, what about this? And what about that? And you're like getting this, it's this iterative process as you try to figure out, like, what is the path to this? The more you talk about it, the more people know about it, the more you become known for it, the faster it'll happen. The more you talk about it, the more people know about it, the more you become known for it, the faster it'll happen. When you talk about it, people begin to expect it from you. And that changes your identity. I've made some transitions like this, like some big ones. I was the like sales trainer guy back in the day. And then I made this transition into the NLP guy. And that wasn't a big jump that I had to make there. I didn't have to convince too many people of it, because the NLP that I was teaching was a version, essentially, of sales training. But then slowly but surely, I became the mindset guy. Now, that jump was really difficult and really, really big. And it had some pretty intense crashes. I lost a business. I had to let 27 people go in that process. I mean, it was intense. And then I started to admit that I was a spiritual teacher. And that transition has been probably easier than some of the other ones because I really honed this 8-step manifesting process. Like I really use it in my own life. And so I talk about who I am and what I'm committed to and what I need and what I want, where I'm going. And it begins to change my identity. And then people begin to speak about you like you're going to be, do, and have whatever you're talking about. So they start asking you about it. They're like, hey, Matthew, how's that Center for Rapid Enlightenment thing that you got going on? I remember in June of last year, I had been talking about it like most of the year with my clients and my friends and whatnot. And then in June, one of my clients is like, how's that Center for Enlightenment or something? How's that thing going? And I was like, I've been thinking about it and I've been, iterating on the mission. I read him some of my mission ideas and things like that. And he's like, well, I just want you to be ready because I've decided at the end of the year, I'm going to donate a sizable amount of money to the center. And I was like, whoa, okay, shit, it's on. I'd just been talking about it to people and had been like trying to figure out like, what is this thing and how's it even going to work? And all of a sudden I have somebody saying like, I'm donating money to your nonprofit. So telling people about the vision that you have causes you to start being it now. And that's the key. Because when you're being it now, you naturally allow the manifestation to flow through you. So you'll be pulled into situations. You'll be invited to things. You're going to find yourself naturally pulled into actions and decisions that'll just make it happen. Speaking about the dream lines up your energy. Speaking about the dream gets you excited about it, especially if you're willing to forget about the how. The ancient Vietnamese proverb. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Because if you forget about the how-to, you can actually genuinely just get excited and connected to the vision. But the moment you go into the how-to, you start like, I don't know how I'm doing. And you start doubting yourself and I'll never happen. And I don't know what I'm doing. And right. So it's like, get back to the rapid enlightenment process, get the mind quiet again, then get excited about the future. Speaking about the future, that gets you dreaming. That gets you dreaming and fantasizing. You're enjoying your desired results in advance. It's so lovely. Kristen and I do this all the time. We just like jam out on the future that we're creating. We get all like giggly and joyful and excited about it. And then we talk to people about it. We take action. We just start following the 8 steps essentially. So that's what you need to do. You actually want to practice enjoying your manifestation in advance. You want to start milking it for all the pleasure that you can right now and watch your dreams come true. Watch them come true in a like much more rapid fashion. But here's the key distinction about this, because remember, I'm a language and sales guy, right? So I've really refined this part of the process. I know what works. Will you write this down? Speak about the results you desire, not about how you're going to accomplish them. Speak about the results you desire, not about how you're going to accomplish them. This jams up the system when you do this. When you talk about how you're going to achieve it, but if you're being honest, you don't really know. And if you're being really, really honest, you're probably not fully doing the how in general, which is why you're in the manifesting process. When you talk about how you're going to do it, it actually jams up the communication. They're like, all right, well, they already got to figure it out. Then, you know what I mean? Like it's like people just discount it. When you speak about the results, the how-tos like start to magically show up. And they're usually from left field, right? It's like, how is almost never what you thought. So remember that it's the network's job, and the network is part of the universe. It's part of the collective consciousness. That's its job, is to deliver you the perfect how-to. Your job is to speak the vision and the result that you're committed to. People get inspired by your vision. People get very inspired by like what's possible. Very few people get inspired by the systematic process or how you're going to do it. It's just not inspiring. So when you describe your vision in vivid detail, it enters into people's consciousness. It's like it changes them a little bit. When you talk to them about the process, they just tune that out. So you want to talk about the vision, and then you want to talk about the reasons, because people love reasons. Let's do some writing. Write down so we have the 3 that we're working on, right? Take those 3 and just put them aside. And I want you to think of something that's like a big, crazy, amazing vision. I know that some of you saw that we announced that we're going to be doing a retreat up in Lake Arrowhead, California in June, the Peace, Purpose, and Prosperity Retreat. And one of my longtime students and good friends, Jamil Damji, is going to co-lead that with me. And when he was doing this manifesting process, just like you're doing right now, in his mind, he was like, I want to be famous. I want to be known. I want to be like this guy that everyone just goes like, yeah, that's cool. I want to, he wanted to inspire people. But the truth of the matter is, it was like a really scary thing. He didn't really know how he was going to do that, but he had the balls to write it down. How about you? Write down your big dream or vision that you have for yourself in your life. And then if you have it written down, then will you just write down your reasons why? Why do you want that? Just be honest. Jamil said it was so liberating to just say, I want to be famous. I want to be known. I want to be the center of attention. How cool is that? To just be able to be that raw. How about you? What are your reasons? We're going to do some more work on this. I have a whole bunch more questions that I want to ask you, but I want to kind of dial it in just a little bit more with you. Take what you just wrote down, and think about what it'll take to manifest that dream. Just in your mind, get focused in, what's it going to take to manifest that dream? I just want you to notice how you feel. Notice what's happening in your mind. If you want the drunk monkey to just come swinging out of the jungle and start screwing with you, get focused in on the how-to. It creates fear, uncertainty, and doubt, what I call FUD. It creates overwhelm and disbelief, or it just it's these, all of a sudden your body just ooh, it starts just tightening up again. Those are indicators. Those are indicators that you're thinking about your future in a way that is not allowing what you want to come. Your body is so wonderful. It'll tell you that you're off track. Write this down for me, please. Negative feelings are indicators. Negative feelings are indicators that you're thinking about your future. Negative feelings are indicators that you're thinking about your future in a way that is not allowing what you want to come. Thinking about your future in a way that is not allowing what you want to come. Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that fantastic? That your emotions can be like a compass, a guide. And you'll notice if you think about the how-to, all of a sudden your emotions get jammed up. And that's an indicator. Now, I want you to write down the 3 things that we said we were going to manifest together at the beginning of this course. So now take those 3 things and just write them out again. What are the 3 things you're manifesting out of this course? And will you just make sure that what you're writing down, you're really clear about the results that you want? We're going to do this a couple times. Make sure you're really clear about the result that you want, and then write down a few reasons as to why you want those things. All right. You don't need to write anymore. We're going to do a bunch more writing, but I want you to just this week start talking about the results of the things that you are manifesting, and then the reasons that you want to manifest them. And what you're going to notice is that people are inspired by the results and the reasons, and the results and the reason. People love reasons. They want to know why you care, and they want to know why they should care. So you have to tell them why they should care, and that's the reasons. So think about someone in your life right now who you think is interesting, like an interesting character. Is there anybody that you can think of right now, like an interesting character in your life? What's interesting about them? I would be willing to bet that what's interesting about them is like what they're up to and or what their perspective is. Now, what if you had 30, 50, even 100 people in the world who thought you were an interesting character? It makes a huge difference, because people who remember you, people who thought about you, people who were interested and intrigued in what it is that you're up to in your life, that they're more likely to be out in the world and be like, hey, wait a second. I was just talking to Mark and he was telling me about this thing, and I should get you 2 together. So like, as you become someone who is more compelling, it's really, really powerful. It pulls opportunities to you. Now, I want you to think about this. This is so nuanced right here. Most people spend their time describing what is happening now or what happened in the past. Most people spend their time what is describing now, which the thing to remember is, like, when I describe to you what is happening right now for me, it's not likely that you'll agree with it, because what's happening for me is what's happening for me. And it's through my own context, my own filters, my own perspective, all of that stuff. When I describe things from the past, it's like, it's interesting. It's like, well, okay. But the truth is, it's kind of boring. Most people talk about what they have or what they're experiencing right now. But I want you to know that mega manifestors paint pictures. They paint pictures of what they're committed to. And this is going to take some practice for you. This is not an easy thing to do, because it's almost guaranteed that you spend all of your time talking about, well, the other day what I was doing, and this is how I feel, and this is what I think, and this is my opinion on the world, and all this. And I just want you to know, nobody actually gives a shit, just so you know. Like, people are nice, right? Your friends, they're totally nice to you and kind and loving. But I want you to know, like, if we honestly, authentically, really and truly got them to say, like, do you really care about these things? They're going to be like, whatever. I mean, it's important to her. So like, I listen. Mega manifestors, they talk about visions and dreams and where they're headed. So I want you to write this down, okay? People are interested in three things. One, what you are committed to. Now, remember, they're not actually interested in what you're committed to until you are first interested in what they're committed to, but we'll get to that in a minute, okay? People are interested in three things. One, what you're committed to. Two, I almost did three. Two, why you are committed to this. And then three, how they can help, or what you could say, what you want / how they can help. What are you committed to? Why are you committed to this? What do you want / how can they help? That's what people want to know about. And I just want you to know the answers to those questions are interesting. They're interesting to people. So the answer to those questions, honestly, if we're being like, if we're really looking at it, like when you answer those questions, people are able to locate themselves in that stuff. So, for example, if someone asks me, like, what are you up to these days, Matthew? Like lately, what I've been talking about is the Center for Rapid Enlightenment. So I'm, like I might say, I founded the Center for Rapid Enlightenment this year, and I might give them a little back channel on like the story of the adventure that it took to get the thing established and going. And, really I established it because I want to help people all over the world experience peace of mind and personal fulfillment. And, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but many people struggle with negative thoughts and emotions despite living in a time with a very high standard of living and access to all the resources that they need. It's like their mind is screwing them over, even though they're in a good spot. So the mission of the Center for Rapid Enlightenment, we like to call it the CRE, is to provide a unique evidence-based approach to achieve rapid enlightenment, which is defined as an intentional shift in context that leads to a sudden increase in well-being, happiness, and ultimately peace of mind. Now, I like to, I also talk to people about that we have a proprietary approach to doing research in consciousness and achieving enlightenment, and that our goal is really to liberate humanity from the ancient psyche, the drunk monkey, that keeps us trapped in emotional negativity. Because really, what is our ultimate goal? We want to help people experience authentic happiness and peace. And then I usually will just say, look, we're in our first year. We're really working on the research component. We're kind of building the thing from the ground up, getting the structure in place, getting like all the foundational components. And then I'd be like, who do you know that'd be a great resource for me in these beginning stages of the nonprofit? So I'm covering all the bases. What are you going to say? Like, what do you say when someone asks you, what are you up to lately? It's like, I want to do more deals. Well, I just want you to know, if you want people to shut down immediately, say that. Your assignment, which I'm going to help you with, is to create kind of like what your pitch is, because you're going to give the gift, then they're going to want to know what you're up to, and then you need to be ready. So we got to figure out, like, what are you committed to? Why are you committed to this? And what do you need or want? And how could they help or be a part of it? So write this down. What I speak becomes my reality. What I speak becomes my reality. Most people don't realize that who you are is essentially what you say about yourself, about others, about situations, what you say to yourself and to others. That's who you are. And the universe, this background field of energy and information that is bubbling up and manifesting through you, like, it's happy to go in the direction of whatever it is that you're speaking about and thinking about. So like, you have all these choices and possibilities, right? And I know you know this, like, there's plenty of stuff in your life that would be really categorically shitty if it occurred. And you and I both know you have those thoughts. Like, they're in there. So if you spend your time like talking about that stuff and this is so shitty and I don't like this and it's really pissing me off, what you're doing, you're literally channeling the energy of the universe, is like going through that and creating the things that you don't want. So it's not like you are so powerful that you can make things happen. It's that you're part of what is manifesting. And there's this interesting piece of you that gives you choice. And I want you to know that's unique to you. That's not everybody. So if you tell your normal folk people that you have in your life about this idea, they will think that you're bananas. And the truth is, you kind of are bananas. Like, you're not normal at all. Like, you should not think of yourself as normal. And if you do, it'll cause a lot of troubles for you. So this is why people keep getting the same thing in their life, because they keep talking about the same shit. They're like, well, something I used to do in the past. And I tell you, I used to be on the football team and I was that thing. And my wife and my kids, and this is how we do it, right? It's like basically they're just channeling all the energy into this redundancy. When you talk about the past, you get more of it. Now, my dad used to just beat Tom and I over the head on this idea. I don't care about your past, he would say. I only want to know, like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are you committed to? And I remember being like a 23-year-old and just thinking, like, what the fuck? What? Like, I'm just trying to share with you, Dad. And he would literally say to me, I don't give a shit. And I would be offended. But it was actually incredibly valuable for him to be constantly pushing back. Your past doesn't matter to me. Your past doesn't count. I don't care about your past. I only want to know what you're committed to and what I can hold you accountable to. And I was like, oh, but it felt so restrictive to a young person. Can I be myself? Yeah, you can. You can be yourself. If you want to talk about all the shit in the past and then just become it over and over and over, have at it. For you, you have a choice. You get to choose. And the more people that you connect with and connect to, and the more people you speak this future to, the faster the network does its magic. So you got to start saying this. The more people you connect to, the easier it is to attract your desires. The more people you connect to, the easier it is to attract your. Now I know, hold on, I'm getting a message. There's a message coming in. Bring, 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 bring. It's the drunk monkey. You know what the drunk monkey's saying? But Matthew, wait a second. What if I tell all these people what I'm going to accomplish and then I don't accomplish it? Am I going to look stupid? I don't want to tell everybody what I'm committed to. Then what if it doesn't happen? I'm scared. Then I think I'm going to be a loser. They're going to think I'm unreliable. But here's the thing. And I try to really get my kids to understand this. And it's hard to understand when you're young. Making a promise, not keeping it, and then cleaning it up and taking responsibility for it, it actually makes you seem more reliable than making the promise and keeping it. Because people are like, whoa, that person has character. That person is willing to own their shit. So learning to clean up broken expectations and broken promises actually makes you seem more reliable. So when you own that you went out there, you did it, you said you wanted to do this thing, you're going for it, you're in it, you're trying to make it happen, and then it didn't work. Or you own that you went for it and you changed your mind. That's actually admirable. People respect that. It shows character. So it's the exact opposite of what you think. You can't listen to the drunk monkey on this one. But let's rewind a little bit. Because in the end, it actually doesn't matter if you achieve the goals or not. What you're looking to do is to get into the energy, the spirit, the inspiration, the joy, you want the experience. So you're working to have the experience in advance And then when you have that experience, then you're going to find generally the goals come true faster. Not always, but generally. But it doesn't matter. You're having the experience. You're already in it. The goals and dreams are not the prize. The energy that the new goals and dreams give you, that's the prize. You want to be lit up, energized, inspired, curious, wondering. You want to be like trying to figure stuff out. That's the game. All the people that you meet, that's the game. All the new things you learn about, that's the game. All the new ways that people relate to you, that's the game. The new invitations, that's the game. The new opportunities, that's the game. I know you've noticed this, right? A lot of times you like set a goal to have something occur and you get close and you realize, not really what I want. It's okay. You just have to learn to own it. It's going to happen a lot. You're creative. You're the creative force coming through. So you're going to have a lot of ideas and a lot of things. You're going to put out, it's like, oh, check this out. And I'm going to do it. Meh. Okay. Then all you do is you just own, like, you just complete the circle with people. And the crazy thing is when you complete the circle with people, geez, it creates like a bond. It creates this like, it's like a totally different thing that happens when people around you are like, wow, that person like brought it all the way back around and owned all their stuff and you know, like tied it up in a bow. When you go for it and you get close and you realize it's not what you really want, it's just because you're getting clarity, right? As you get close, you get clarity. And from the new perspective, you start to see, oh, really, it's not that, it's something else. Like when I got close to the Calvin Klein model body thing, I was like, oh, wait, whoa. Like, I don't want the cut abs. That'd be nice. I want the exuberance. So I thought that, you know, the cut abs and all the muscles showing and all of that would be like exuberance, but I'm realizing it's like brain dead. Ask me about it later, and I'll tell you what he told me about how much you have to dehydrate yourself to get that. But the thing is, as soon as you get close, you often realize that's not it. Now, you're a mega manifester, and you simply have to deal with the fact that you're going to have great ideas all the time, and that those great ideas are going to be changing and evolving. And they're going to change. And the more free you get, the faster things change and evolve. And the more like people got to keep up, and the more you got to be communicating about what you're doing. So for those people who are in your life who are important to you, like, you just got to tell them the truth. Look, I got close. And as soon as I did, I realized that's not what I wanted. And then you update them. What do I want? And I just want you to know, you've been doing this your whole life, and nobody's calling you stupid. Will you just write down this little Zig Ziglar quote that I absolutely love? This is a quote that inspires me. Will you write down, a big shot is just a little shot that kept on shooting. A big shot is just a little shot that kept on shooting. Manifesting, my friends, is risky. You might not look great at first, but your new goals and your new dreams, they're going to manifest. They're going to have people's perceptions change about you. It's going to be rocky and destructive. The key for you is to tell as many people as you possibly can to kind of create this cohesive power around you. So you have like this network. I don't know why I'm bringing up my father so much in this one, but my father used to tell me, look, there are way more people that you don't know than you do. So go talk to the ones that you don't know. And, you know, he was about prospecting and creating business. But when you tell people that you don't know about the things that you're manifesting, they get way more excited because they have no history with you. But, you know, like in my social circles, when I tell people, you know, like, here's what I'm up to, here's what I'm creating, they're like, you know, they have a memory of who I am. They like think of me in a certain way. And so it's not as powerful. Continue to seek new people to talk about your goals, dreams, and manifestations. And the truth is, give the gift to everyone that you meet. The more you expand your social and business circles, the faster your environment aligns with you and becomes fertile ground for your future manifestations. It's all about who you know. It's all about who you know. So go and start to know more people. And let other people tell you what to do. That's the thing. Tell as many people as you possibly can. And they're going to give you the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay. You don't need to worry about that. Write this down. All opportunities reside in your network. All opportunities reside in your network. And your network, it might be like, I know Maria, but Maria knows this person who she introduces me to. And then I talk to that person and then they introduce me to this other person. So it's like, it might be 3 steps out. The trick is to give the gift to everyone you come in contact with, because by making a difference for them, they'll ultimately naturally be inclined to want to make a difference for you. And the thing is, not in that moment. So it might be like, I'm giving the gift to Maria, and then she just feels like loved on and heard and understood and you know, is just stoked that we had such a cool conversation and someone actually listened to her. But then later, something happens and she's like, wait a second. I don't know, you know, like this Matthew Ferry guy might be someone that you want to talk to. And next thing you know, she's introducing me to new people and she's bringing things to me, even though she didn't really spend any time trying to figure out what I was up to. She just like want to figure out a way to contribute. It just starts to happen. When you contribute to people, they want to figure out how to contribute to you. This is the law of reciprocity. So I want to talk to you about your intentions, and I want to talk to you about how to broaden them, because this is really, really important. You broaden the context of what you want. So you take your intentions and you broaden them out and you make it more about service and contribution and like bigger, like higher quality things like peace and joy and love and adventure and excitement and enthusiasm, right? Like these more emotional things. Let me give you an example, because we have a lot of real estate agents on the phone with us, on the phone. See how old school I am? On Zoom with us. And I know that some of you are saying, Matthew, really, what do I want? I want to do 5 deals a month to make 50 grand. And let's be honest, if you told most people that, they would be put off by that. But you can say the exact same thing and broaden the context out a little bit. Make it more about helping and contributing and making a difference. You could say something like, I'm committed to helping 5 families achieve the American dream of home ownership every month. And I get such pleasure. Now we're into the reasons. I get such pleasure seeing a family find a house of their dreams, or even helping a family sell their existing house so that they can move on and go to the next thing. Now, let me ask you this. Do you know anybody out there that I can help to fulfill the dream of home ownership, or help them to sell the house so that they can move on? Remember, what am I committed to? Why am I committed to this? What do I need right now? You've got to practice shifting what you say you want into those things, but broadening the context out. What am I committed to needs to be broad. The answers to those questions help people to see themselves in what you're doing. So when you shift the context of your desires from a selfish to more of a selfless or altruistic kind of language, things really start to flow. It's really, really cool. So let's just quickly do an exercise. Take one of your 3 intentions, okay, that you wrote down, and let's turn it into a contribution to others. So the first thing you want to write down is what you're committed to. And the question becomes, can you write that down in a new and interesting way? Don't worry about it too much, because I have more questions. Then the next question is, why? Why are you committed to that? So your reason. And then I want you to write down how your goal or your dream will make a difference for other people. This is the key. How will your goal or dream make a difference for other people? Push yourself, please. And then the last part is, what do you need right now to manifest your dream? Most people just say, Matthew, I want more money, or I want to be rich, or I want to I just want to have a ton of money. And, 99% of the time, being rich is actually just the result of making a difference. So the question is, can you focus on the difference that you make, or the difference your intention will make? Can you have that be your pitch? And then can you manifest somebody giving you the money and winning the lottery? Sure. Like, will you? Probably not. Kristen and I played the lottery for many years when we were flat broke. And I haven't talked too much about being sued, but it was really, really intense in my divorce. And I ended up, being I was pretty on the rocks financially. And as Kristen and I were going through this, we were playing the lottery as a way of getting ourselves into the vibe, into the thinking, and then thinking about, well, what would we do with the money? And then we would come up with plans, and then I was out giving the gift to one of my clients, and my client wanted to contribute back, and they put us into an investment that turned out to be like winning the lottery. But you never know where it's going to come from. This is why it's critical to set your intentions every day and to get yourself into those states, the states that you think the money will give you, and then talk about the difference it'll make. Talk about how you'll make a difference, or who you're going to be. That excites people. You got to learn to be fulfilled and satisfied and at peace now. And then you have to learn to talk about what you're going to create in such a way that feels good to other people. When you're being a contribution, it makes you feel valuable and worthy and inspired and fulfilled. Basically, you feel good. And when you feel good, things work. So help others and allow others to help you. Remember, manifesting is not think and wait. You are naturally in action all day, every day. And so the question that we got to ask ourselves is, are you coming from fear, or are you coming from contribution, inspiration, making a difference, joy, peace, being supportive of others? We call that inspired action. So let me get to my last thought. I want to give you some ideas for this week, and then I want to take any questions or concerns, comments, that kind of thing. So last thought. Consider a different approach to your GEMS this week. Remember, GEMS: gratitude, experience, manifestation. GEMS. Consider a different approach. So rather than trying to attract the full result, what if you attracted the people who had the information that you needed? Or what if you attracted the people who could help you along the way, or guide you, or counsel you? Here's an example of something that I wrote, no kidding, 13 years ago. I'm pulling this one out of the archive, everybody. I am so thankful. This is the way I used to write them back then. I'm so thankful to the universe for introducing me to someone who will be my champion and figure out ways to help my message get to millions, maybe even billions of people around the planet. And then I always added back then, or something better. And a year later, Kristen showed up in my life. A year after that, we started a company together. Then We blended our lives together. Then we got married. And I will say that today, she is my absolute ultimate champion and has made the biggest difference in my life in terms of getting my message out there, getting me aligned, getting my integrity cleaned up, helping me become the man that I had envisioned. And I am forever grateful that that has occurred. But it started by having the clarity to write down what I thought would be the next step. And the next step was, at that time, like, I need someone who like understands all the other things. Like, I'm super good at the blah, 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 and the selling. And I'm really good at the idea creation and exploring consciousness and research and all that stuff. But I was not good, and still I'm not good at what it takes to really create a vision for the kind of company that you could have around that. And that is like effortless for Kristen. So here's my suggested homework for you today. I'm going to actually copy it right now, and I'm going to put it into the chat. And then I'm pretty sure my buddy Tristan's just going to put it right into GroupMe for me. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. So I'm going to ask you to of course, this is suggestion only, do whatever you want, but do something to expand your sphere of influence this week. So join a club like a Rotary or a networking group or business association or a tennis club or a golf club, something like that. I'm going to sign up for a seminar related to your goals. Maybe join a sports team, network into your kids' parents' groups, right? Or join a church or help out your local nonprofit. Join something, do something like engage a group that will just automatically expand your world. Try it out, see what happens. I want you to work on your pitch. What are you committed to? Why are you committed to that? What do you need now to move it forward? Then I want you to continue to do your gems daily. If it was me, I would be going crazy about reporting my miracles, but that's me because I like to celebrate even the smallest stuff, the tiniest little things. Kristen and I are so goofy about this that like anytime an animal shows up, we go online and we read the animal totem, which is like a Native American Indian kind of mysticism thing. And it's like, it's like spiritual entertainment, if we're being honest. But we have one person that we like to read because they always say something positive about whatever animal that is that you see. So now we take any animal that we see and we turn that into something positive. Everything is a miracle for us. Try out the all is well visualization, which is part of the bonuses. Give the gift. And will you tell 10 people in your life what you're committed to manifesting this week? Don't hold back. Contribute to everyone and then allow them to contribute to you, and you tell them what you're committed to. And then for me, I am going to manifest a rainbow unicorn. So I'm already seeing it in my mind right now. Can you see a rainbow unicorn in your mind? Again, I just like practicing doing really dumb things that make no difference, but they help to make me go like, ha, see? There's the rainbow unicorn. And it just like builds my confidence. So let's open up to questions, concerns, comments, thoughts, hallucinations, excitement, emotional overload, anything at all. I'm going to turn my attention from my teleprompter over here to where all of you guys are to see if anyone is going to raise their hand. I know Kristen's probably going to manage the process, but if you would raise your hand and let us know that you would like to jump in and chat, ask a question, whatever, we're happy to do that. Here we go. Roya has raised her hand, it looks like.
I don't have any questions, but can I give you my miracles for this week? So I got a traffic ticket in January, mid-January sometime. And I told the officer that I was going to fight it because it was completely unjust what he did. I'm not going to go into it. But anyways, so I forgot about that ticket altogether. And apparently I got something from the court, but I did not know that I had gotten it. So the ticket, I'm supposed to be at the court on the 3rd of March, this month, I found the court papers at my house this Monday. And so I called the court and I had visualized that this is going to be going away because I was so pissed at that officer. So I visualized that this whole thing is going to vanish. I called the court with the ticket number. I had to call 3 times to put in the number. And every time it said that ticket number does not exist. So that was my I've never heard of such a thing. So I don't know what happened, but apparently they don't care for me to give them $243. But anyways, that was one miracle. And the
And
other
yeah,
one,
and I want to just stop for everybody else. It's like,
sure.
you know, is that a miracle? No. Is that a miracle? Yes. You get to decide the quality of your existence, and the quality of your existence will come down to the way in which you label what's happening to you. I think it was Einstein who said, you can look at life like nothing is a miracle or like everything is a miracle. And he said, I prefer the latter. What's the second one?
The second one is my ultimate dream about living in Italy. So I was talking to one of my Italian real estate agents. I'm leaving on Monday to go to Italy, and a couple of days I'm going to be living with or staying with her. And I was talking to her. We were talking about what we're going to do and all that good stuff. And she said, Roya, you keep talking about wanting to live in Italy. Would you be willing to come and work with me? And I'm like, what do you mean work with you? She goes, real estate. I said, but I don't know Italian. I have to go get my license. And she goes, no. You don't need to get a license here. You could practice your real estate. And I hate working with sellers. I hate going and pitching listings. I love working with buyers. I know you love working with sellers. You do the listing part and I'll do the buyer part. And I'm like, oh my God, Sarah, are you joking me? I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am. So there is my Italian dream come true. That's what I'm going to be doing.
OMG.
And
You've been
Roya,
wanting this for so long, Kristen. Go
we
ahead.
talked about it in 2016 when we were all there together.
Yes, exactly.
Unbelievable. 6.5 years ago. Congratulations.
Finally. Thank you
Congratulations.
very much. And
Wow.
lastly, I just want to say thank you so much for bringing up what's his name? Oh my God, the Infinite Self.
Stewie.
Stewie. I got that book. I had gotten that book a long time ago, but the actual book, but I went and got the audio and I started listening to him, and I cannot even begin to tell you. First of all, you and him are one. It's like, really? Seriously? Am I listening to Matthew or am I listening to Stu? And then I went and got his other book, and I can't even begin to tell you, he and you and Kristen, you guys are completely turning my life upside down. I am in heaven. Thank you.
Hot damn, Roya. Well, listen, you know, Roya has been doing this work with me for a long time. You know, like we basically grew up together, and you know, it just goes to show you it doesn't stop. And some of these dreams are dreams that just take years and years and years and years for everything to line themselves up. Don't worry about it. Just practice like being in states of joy and flow and peace and love and certainty, which is not easy. That in and of itself is really hard to do. Well done, Roya. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Any questions, concerns, comments, thoughts, hallucinations, excitement, emotional overload? Anything works for me. No bad goals, just bad deadlines, Ken Rubman put in. Exactly. Exactamundo. Anyone? Oh, anyone? Bueller? All right. Well, here. Oh, there we go. Ifra's jumping in.
Hi.
Hello.
How you guys doing? I actually wanted to share something, a miracle from last week that happened. So I've been writing down in my in my gems and my manifestations that I would like to easily earn $100,000 or win $100,000 or be given a gift of $100,000 in about 2 months. So I'm giving the gift, right? And there's a friend of mine that I've been giving the gift to for a while. And, she texts me back and says, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too. And then shortly after that, after a couple hours, she says, hey, Ifrah, do you do commercial? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. I have a coworker who is looking for a motel in New Jersey, and I'm going to connect you with them. And just like that, I was connected with them. And the deal, it's kind of funny, ends up being somewhere around $100,000. And it's easy. They're so nice. They're like the nicest people. So I'm just, wowed by it. It's amazing.
Hot damn, Ifrah. Really, really great. And listen, we don't know where it's going to come from. We don't know how it's going to manifest. And the
Not at all.
important thing to know is it wasn't like Ifrah just pulled that out of her ass. She's like you. She is intuitive. She's sensitive. She's like tuned into her world and her environment. Her mind screws with her periodically, and then she works to get that to be quiet again. And then in that more quiet flowing state, those probabilities that are on their way to you, those probabilities, they just like go, hey, it's me. I'm over here, $100,000. And then you go like, huh, $100,000. That's interesting. I never thought about like $100,000 all at once. All right, I'm going to write it down. And then she starts following the steps. And then slowly but surely, it all lines itself up. Now, $100,000 for Ifrah was already really in the probability field, whereas moving to Italy and like pulling that off for Roya, there was like a lot to sort out: children and grandchildren and business and babies and visas and where am I going to live and who am I going to live? Like, there's just like a million details that had to like all fall into place. There are no bad goals, just bad deadlines. And if you can think of it, it's on its way to you. It just may not be tomorrow. It might be that you and I are talking 6 years from now, like Roya, and you're like, holy shit. Remember the thing that I wrote down in the course? And we're like, yeah, that was really exciting. Well, guess what? It just happened. Ali, jump in.
Hope everyone is well. I had to dig really into my consciousness to really grasp this. I'm trying to find like, hey, what were some recent miracles that I've had throughout the last week? And on Saturday, I typically will come into the office for a couple hours on Saturday and make some calls, do some follow-ups. My higher self told me, you know what, take the day off. Don't do anything. Like, do what you want, have nowhere to be, stay at the gym for 2 hours if you want, do what you need to. And the interesting thing is my survival mind was saying, go into the office. I ended up following my higher self. And as I was at the gym, I got a text message from a lady I hadn't spoke to in 2 years. Hey, want to get qualified? Had another gentleman reach out and say, hey, I want to sell my property. We ended up putting that one into escrow today, as a matter of fact. So it's interesting when we follow our higher selves versus a survival mind. I was actually questioning, I wonder if I would have received that call and that text message if I went into the
You
office.
probably would, but you would be, less fresh and less joyous and less energized and all of that stuff, right? And then the question becomes, in that other state, would you have been your free and willing and gracious and wonderful self? Maybe not. We don't know, right? So we can only make up stories if we want to. But what you're saying is, like, I don't have to kill myself to have everything work out. I don't have to be in a survival state. I can be in a thriving, taking care of myself state. That's, by the way, that's why we're doing our weekend retreat up in the mountains in June. It's just like, let's pull the plug. Let's like breathe and meditate and commune with the trees and look at the lake and just get away and be in a spiritual, groovy, vibey place. And then let that be a mid-year manifestation booster shot for all of us. So with that, I think I'm going to go have some food and hang out and do my thing. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your miracles and all the things that are going on with you. If you need anything from us, please reach out, clientcare@matthewferry.com. We're happy to support and help and do whatever you need to do to make it all work. All right. With that, I will talk to you all soon. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.